2023 was a good year. It was the year where the decency on the American ballot has intensified to level that your parents have never heard of. And the signs were there. You knew that this was going to be a good year based on how it started in January with this beautiful succubus, which, how should I put it so that it's acceptable to YouTube's terms of service? Managed to enthrall, managed to seduce well, not really the entire police department, but it was 6 of her colleagues. You see, she was going through a difficult divorce, according to the interviews, and she managed to find solace in the warm, very comfortable embrace of 6 of her colleagues. And while the news in itself wasn't very interesting to me personally, I did find it very wholesome because this lady managed to raise the prestige of police officers in the eyes of the left. Yes, like, I know people who had the "all cops are bastards" a couple of years ago in their bio, and all of a sudden they rushed to defend the honor of the police department, saying that only a misogynistic, sexist bigot would look at this type of news and have any harsh words or criticism to mutter. So you know, I did like that. I mean, that was a good start of the year. And then came February with the balloon from China. This was everywhere in the news. It's a balloon. It's there. Like, what does it do? We don't know. Can we shoot it down? Not yet. Give it a little bit more time. Just let it, you know, let it cook. Let it cook. Then they shot it down. And then more balloons came up. It was very interesting. I don't know why the US doesn't send balloons over China as well. I mean, it's kind of like an international transaction at this point. It should be like you get one, you send one in return. But still, it was the talk of February, so I did think that it was worth mentioning it. Now, March came with horrible news. A lot of people that are the pillar of our society, the beacons of light, the ones that are holding our democracy together, lost their money due to the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Yes, this was a bank that was pushing for sustainability, a bank that was pushing for diversity, for inclusivity, for equity. It is the most important concept that America is exporting worldwide right now, and a lot of people that are pushing for it had their money in this bank. Also, it was about sustainable energy, right? A lot of people from Silicon Valley were using this bank in order to promote their agenda, and it came as a devastating news when I found out that it went under. People all over the internet were crying, and again, you know, like, this goes to show how certain small gestures can bring people around. Like, I know many left-leaning people who do not like landlords, who do not like bankers, but they did like this bank, right? All of a sudden they got upset when this particular bank went under. And it is wholesome to see, you know, like there are individuals that I look at them with pity because they have so much hatred in their heart, and they go online and they pour their poison and they hate everything. But all of a sudden you realize, you know, even in their dark universe, that there is a little bit of light. Like, they do have love for something. And in this case, it was the Silicon Valley Bank. Unfortunately, it's no more. But I'm pretty sure, like, other banks are going to shoulder the burden. Hopefully, they will have a very long and prosperous career because a lot of left-leaning people are emotionally attached to these institutions. Now, let's talk a little bit about April. April, I mean, all I need is to show a picture, and many of you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. Right, the beer of the people. It is a patriotic beer. I've been told that if you don't drink it, you're anti-American. And they managed to hire a very wise woman, a woman that was of such keen intellect that it completely subverted my expectations of what humans could achieve. Like, if we had more individuals like that vice president of sales, we would have been on the stars by now. Like, we would have launched rockets onto Mars. We would colonize distant planets. Because this lady, in her infinite wisdom, realized that the traditional customers of Bud Light are fratty, out of touch, we needed to attract new demographics. We needed to appeal to younger audiences. And she used an upcoming star, a person that I like to call the unifier, the individual that manages to know and understand what the essence of America truly is, and how to get everyone together, and that is Dylan Mulvaney. So Miss Mulvaney, or is it Mrs.? I don't know. Started a commercial where she said that go team whatever. In other words, like, they didn't appeal to the fratty, out of touch customers that like sports, right? It's like, well, I've been paid to do a promotion. Here's the beer. Go team whatever, right? Turns out this wasn't a very smart idea. I don't know how it happened, but people stopped buying Bud Light. The company tried to do the good old tactic that usually works, which is to call your customers bigots, sexist, misogynistic pigs. That didn't convince them to come back as well. And up to this day, Bud Light is still struggling financially to appeal to what appears to be the fratty and out-of-touch customers that have left them. Now May wasn't a very eventful month, but if you went on Twitter, you probably saw this lady. She sparked a lot of interesting conversations about body positivity, about dating life in the United States. What else did she do? Like, hold on, let's dedicate a little bit of time to this lady as well, because it's interesting. It's like the type of event that when you see it, you have a lot of opinions about it. And if you go out, you can share those opinions with other people because they're not illegal. And even though your opinions are completely legal and you're free to share them with your mother over the dinner table, social media tries to engineer this different image of society. So your opinions need to be in line with the top CEOs at Silicon Valley. As such, I have nothing negative to say about this. It is something that I want to see more of. I want to see more months like May. May was a good month. June was a bad month. June was a horrible month, actually. It exposed a lot of American corruption, especially about the woke ideology. I know that I shouldn't say this, and it's not politically correct to say it, but it's true. Turns out that the CEO of the submarine company used woke ideology in order to enrich himself. Like, who would do something like that, huh? What type of person? I mean, what can be more pure, more righteous, more correct than woke ideology? In fact, I wouldn't even call it woke ideology. It is normality, right? Compassionate, empathy, caring about other human beings. This is normality. What they call woke, I call normal. And to see a person that uses normalcy in such a disingenuous and corrupt way, it disgusted me. So what am I talking about? Well, apparently, when it came to engineers, when it came to people who are experts in submarines, a lot of them happen to be cishet white men. And they're old people, but they also require that you pay them a lot to work for you, right? So this company CEO, in order to avoid having to pay them, he championed diversity, but it was a very corrupt, disingenuous, corporate way of championing diversity. So he hired young individuals that were yes men from the benches of the university in order to say that actually his submarine is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with it. And this is what led to the tragedy. And yes, it's a bad thing that it happened. I can't believe that a corporation can use such noble principles like diversity, inclusivity, and equity in order to further enrich themselves at the expense of other people. Now, I just want to say that June was also interesting due to how many people reacted, right? So the people who lost their lives onto the submarine were people that I personally don't know, and people that other leftist commentators didn't know either, but for some reason they were glad that it happened. I mean, I remember on Twitch and Twitter that there were a lot, that I'm not going to give names because I don't want to promote them, but you guys know, like, the individuals that I'm talking about, which were cheering because some of the people that were on the submarine were wealthy. One of the most tragic stories, though, is that a young lad, which happened to be there, didn't even want to go there. Like, he was afraid to go into the submarine, but his dad insisted, and he didn't want to disappoint his dad. So that's why he was there. That was horrible. July. Oh my God. Well, it was a very interesting month, wasn't it? Like you have this singer coming up from nowhere, talking about rich people north of Richmond. And what I find fascinating is that both sides liked him and hated him at the same time. There were people saying that he is a plant. There were people saying that actually he's woke. There were people that were saying his song is left-leaning and then that his song is right-leaning. I guess you could summarize July as being the month which highlights the duality of man. I don't know how else to put it, but like, this event was very interesting. Like, people couldn't just enjoy the song. It was like, but like, its political meaning, what does it represent? Well, who are these rich men north of Richmond? Are they leftists or are they right-wingers? Do they support Trump or they worship the Biden? What do we do? You know, like, it was very interesting. And speaking of entertainment, who cannot forget Oppenheimer and Barbie? I mean, these were amazing conversations to be had, especially about the Barbie movie, which apparently was a feminist movie written by a feminist person that wanted to have a feminist message. And it seems the message is that when the world is good, the Barbies, they have everything. They have their own houses, they have their own friendships, but the kids are shirtless and on the streets. And once the Kens rise up and they want equality, it seems that the Barbies are happy as well. Like, did you notice that? Like, no, seriously, like, think about it. When the kids, they actually say, well, hold on a little bit, this is unfair. Like, we should have our own houses and stuff. Like, let's have a relationship. Most of the Barbies were happy. It was only a couple of Barbies that were upset that it wasn't about them anymore, and that they don't get to have a Ken because they were so obnoxious that their own Ken left them. So they have to kidnap and brainwash the other Barbies in order to start a fascist revolution that prevents the other Barbies from voting. Yes, I know, interesting, like, Ken allowed the other Barbies to vote in his fascistic patriarchy. So the other Barbie has to stop that from happening. Like, she has to stop the elections from taking place. And once she does that, and she actually manipulates the kids into going to war. Like, no, seriously, this is in the movie. Like, I'm actually describing to you what you've missed. I'm not making this up. Like, this is written by a feminist author, all right? So once we have all of that, society is now ruined, everyone is unhappy again, and she decides to leave. Like, she doesn't even want to live in the utopia that she created. This movie is unironically the best political film of the decade. I will make absolutely sure that if I have children, they go watch this feminist film. The author, mwah, chef kiss. Like, you couldn't have made a better political analogy, even if you tried. Now let's move on to September, right? September was actually filled by a conversation that happened the previous month. It happened on August 24th, and, you know, like, if it happens at the end of the month, it can carry out to the next. The mugshot of Donald Trump. I mean, this was very interesting. I think they really wanted him to make history, so he did. The first U.S. president to have a mugshot. The conversation was about the fact that he was selling the mugshot. You know, like, this is what dismayed and horrified the Democrats. Democracy, yes. Democracy scared and horrified them. It's like, what do you mean the peasants are purchasing the merchandise? Like, can we not stop it? Isn't there like a copyright infringement? Like, come on, someone find something that he is doing which is illegal. Please, for the love of God, take that criminal code book, go through it, look through it, find something. Just find something that we can use. This is unacceptable. He's making money using the mugshot. The people were supposed to hate him, but unfortunately, they think it's cool. This is unacceptable. Blah, 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 blah. And this is what the entire month was like on Twitter. Like, if you went there were people that's like, oh, the mugshot, there were people, oh, you're supporting a criminal, blah, blah, blah. Don't you know we accused him? If we accused him, he's a criminal, blah, 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 blah. Like, our accusations is proof enough. What world do you live in? Why aren't you normal? You accuse someone, therefore they did it. Now, October, you know, like, nothing actually happened in October. I gotta say, I don't think anything happened in October, so I'll take something else that happened because we're talking about criminals and accusations, and I want to discuss about the cocaine in the White House. Right? Like, when it comes to Donald Trump, they accurately pinpoint every bad thing that he does. When it comes to your mother, when your mother goes on Facebook, there is AI there in order to monitor everything that she says. When you play Minecraft, there is surveillance. I'm not even kidding. Like, Microsoft wants to see what you're typing. Like, what are you discussing? Microsoft needs to know. What if you do the hate speech, right? But when it comes to La Cocaína in the White House, no one knows. I mean, apparently, you can just go in there. There's no cameras. There's not... They're confused. They're clueless. They just don't know. You know, this goes to show that the government really cares about your privacy. I mean, if they allow the people who go into the White House to have so much privacy, to the point that they can smuggle in La Cocaína, what can you do? You know, it's like, well, look, they could actually, I mean, it's just a house, right? Like, they could have it made like Big Brother, where there's cameras everywhere and everyone is being searched. But they don't wanna, because they have to respect the privacy of the people that go in there, right? And this is like the display that they show to the public. Speaking of La Cocaína at the White House and the decency is on the ballot, we also had the adults being back in charge. I mean, I loved it. The boot sex in the Senate. I think that's also a historical first, isn't it? Well, actually, no. Apparently, there was another tape, right? So it wasn't a historical first. I was reminded that there's another tape. But it highlights the decency, right? And the adults. I mean, it's an adult movie, so therefore, you know, a lot of people were wondering, like, can we not lower the age rating a little bit? Can we not make it PG-13 when it comes with the Senate? Can we not? No? No? Why not? Come on. Please. Please do. A lot of people didn't like and again, like, it caused the controversy on Twitter. It's like, oh, if it was straight people doing it, you wouldn't care. No, I think they would. And I think, like, what upset people the most is the fact that they filmed it as well. Because it shows an arrogance, like an extra level of audacity. But maybe we should have audacious leaders, shouldn't we? Like, maybe this is a good thing. Because they get to deal with other world leaders, and you want your world leaders to be audacious. Right, Is there anything else that I forgot to mention? Ah, yes, December. Very, very interesting, Bob. What would classify December? Naked images on Twitch. Absolutely. That PG-13 platform, again, I'm telling you, this was the year where decency was on the ballot. All of a sudden, it allows people to have nudity. And there was, like, furry content on the main page. We saw everything except anime girls, because, like, anime girl, look, nothing is more sacred than an anime girl. You can't show, like, an anime girl boobies. Like, she's but a child. What are you doing? Right? Real people, that's fine. According to Twitch. For a while, because then they went back and they went like, oh, okay. And once they reverted, Boogie got banned. I unironically think that Boogie did nothing wrong. Like, I don't think he violated the community service on Twitch. But he did get banned. And then Boogie went and accused Twitch of fat phobia. I'm not kidding. Like, this actually happened. No, seriously. I just can't be arsed to look for it. But I did see it with my own eyes. Trust me, I verified it. So it was an interesting year. Thank you for watching my channel. Hopefully, next year, I will release my video game. And I'll give you more details about that. Yeah, I'm a game developer. Did you not know? Very interesting. Next year, hopefully. Already have a trailer. It's really good. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.